Most gardeners accidentally destroy the most important system in their soil without realizing it. They focus on adding fertilizers, compost, and soil boosters, but ignore the real engine that keeps soil productive over time: nutrient cycling. When that system breaks, soil stops regenerating itself, and every harvest becomes more dependent on external inputs. That's why some gardens look good for a season or two, then slowly decline. The soil isn't tired, it's disconnected from its natural recycling process. Before I explain how to fix that, I need to mention something I use regularly in real garden testing. It's a 4-in-1 soil moisture meter that measures moisture, pH, soil temperature, and sunlight intensity directly in the root zone. I'll leave the exact one I use in the description if you want to check it out. https://amazon.to/43opmch. One of the biggest issues it revealed for me was how uneven moisture levels were silently disrupting soil biology and slowing decomposition without any visible signs on the surface. That's what led me to rethink everything about nutrient cycling. The mistake most gardeners never notice: most people think gardening is about feeding plants. That's where things go wrong. In reality, healthy soil doesn't just contain nutrients, it continuously recycles them. Organic matter breaks down, microbes process it, nutrients are released slowly, and plants absorb what they need. Then the cycle repeats. When that loop breaks, nutrients don't disappear immediately, they just stop being reused efficiently. So you keep adding more, while the soil becomes less capable of managing what it already has. That's not a plant problem. That's a system problem. The ancient $0 method that rebuilds soil life long before fertilizers existed, soil fertility, was maintained through continuous biological cycling. Nothing was wasted. Leaves, stems, roots, and organic debris all returned to the soil and were slowly transformed into plant-available nutrients. No interruptions. No resets. No external dependency. That is what I call a nutrient cycling powerhouse. And the method to rebuild it is extremely simple. You stop stripping the soil bare, and you start feeding the soil surface continuously with organic material that can decompose over time. In my own raised beds, I started layering shredded leaves, compost residues, and plant cuttings directly on the soil surface. Not deeply mixed, not aggressively tilled, just layered and left to break down naturally under a thin mulch cover. Nothing dramatic happened on day one. But within weeks, the soil started behaving differently. What nutrient cycling actually looks like in real soil: nutrient cycling is not invisible if you know what to observe. Organic matter breaks down gradually depending on moisture and microbial activity. As it decomposes, nutrients are released slowly instead of in sudden spikes. That slow release is what keeps plants stable. When I monitored beds using the soil meter, I noticed something important. Areas with continuous organic cover had more stable moisture levels and fewer extreme fluctuations in the root zone. That stability is what allows microbial life to stay active long enough to complete decomposition properly. Without stability, the cycle breaks. Why most gardens fail at this system: the biggest disruption to nutrient cycling is bare soil. Bare soil is exposed soil. It dries faster, overheats faster, and loses microbial activity faster. Every time that happens, decomposition slows down. Another problem is overclean gardening. Many gardeners remove leaves, mulch, and organic residue thinking it looks better or prevents pests. But in reality, they are removing the raw fuel that drives soil biology. Nature never leaves soil uncovered. Forests, grasslands, and wild systems always recycle everything in place. That's why they don't rely on fertilizer. How I rebuilt nutrient cycling in real gardens in my own beds: I stopped treating soil like a surface and started treating it like a living system. After every harvest, I left small amounts of organic residue in place instead of clearing everything out. I maintained a thin mulch layer, usually around 3 to 6 centimeters, depending on heat and rainfall. I also avoided unnecessary soil disturbance because digging breaks fungal networks that are essential for long-distance nutrient transport. Over time, the soil became darker, softer, and more biologically active. But the biggest change wasn't visual, it was consistency in plant growth. No more boom and bust cycles. Just steady, reliable performance. That's what real nutrient cycling produces. The hidden role of moisture in cycling efficiency: one thing many gardeners overlook is how strongly nutrient cycling depends on moisture stability. Too dry, and microbes shut down. Too wet, and oxygen levels drop, slowing decomposition. Using the 4-in-1 soil moisture meter helped me identify these fluctuations clearly and adjust watering patterns accordingly. I'll leave the exact one I use in the description if you want to check it out. https://amazon.to/43opmch. Once moisture became stable, decomposition became far more efficient. And that's when the system started to self-sustain. What serious gardeners should understand: the goal is not to feed plants directly. The goal is to build soil that feeds itself continuously. When nutrient cycling is functioning properly, the soil becomes self-renewing. You use fewer inputs, get more consistent results, and build long-term fertility instead of temporary growth. That's the difference between maintaining a garden and building one that improves over time. If this approach makes sense to you, subscribe to FarmLogic, because next I'll show you how to combine nutrient cycling with deep moisture control to keep gardens productive even during heat stress and dry seasons. The more you understand how soil cycles nutrients naturally, the less you depend on external inputs, and the stronger your garden becomes. _